What's going on? Welcome to another video, another leg day, more SSB, and apparently I got a haircut in this one, so this is a few weeks back, so honestly, forgot, likely a Friday. I usually want to get my haircuts, but taking my time here getting set up. I guess these are still some videos with the sling, so future me here just telling you that I'm out of the sling. I've been out of the sling for a while. And still not doing upper body stuff, but really just still doing the squats. So I guess here I was still trying to mitigate that and kind of work around it. But as we're getting, further into this and further away from surgery, I'm trying to incorporate more of the actual arm to help it heal and really just, essentially bring it back to where it was before, picking up weights, doing everyday tasks and stuff like that. So when it came to the compound lifts, I really just took super precaution to make sure I wasn't overexerting. So just kind of falling back on the sling as not a crutch, but just support. Something to keep the arm out of the way until, follow-ups with the doctor and stuff like that. But just working up here, pretty standard, just trying to consolidate and standardize not only, the hip hinge and the sink into the hole, but making sure I'm staying balanced. Sometimes I'll dive bomb my squats and shift myself forward and it throws me off, so I'm trying to avoid that. So just trying to be technical, and obviously, with one arm not on it, it's kind of hard to balance the other, the other structure out on your lats and your upper back. So you really have to just try to mitigate that bar moving depending on how quickly you're going. So that's just always been something that I've needed to work on, just tightening the lats, tighter upper body, brace and everything like that. So doing high rep stuff here, and I've actually made the change in the last few videos to not do the high rep stuff. I just thought it was too fatiguing, especially if you're squatting 3 times a week with the bar and then, picking up the extra volume with the accessories, which I think are a little bit more fun. Just because you're doing one movement doesn't mean you have to do high reps on it, which is, I see a lot of mistake a lot of people make. There's different lifts for different purposes. If you're competing in a competition where you need to hit, 10 rep sets on squats, then obviously do that, but focus on the strength so that you can condition yourself to move weight, and then perhaps use exercises that are less risky, like the belt squat or like a machine, to get that extra volume for the additional growth threshold. I mean, obviously you could bare bones everything and just do everything with a barbell and some weights and a squat, whatever body part you're looking to work. But as we get older and aren't able to recover, it's probably a better idea to take some stress and stuff off the joints, build that foundation, build that work capacity when you're younger and you can recover better, and then just kind of refine it as you get older. And that's kind of what I've always done. Especially now, once you've built that base, it's just about adding, the cherry on top of the sundae. You've built this base, now you can really refine it. Okay, maybe I want to work on my arms a little bit more, so a little bit more emphasis on that, maybe some tempo controlled stuff. So that's really how I've always structured my training. I like to do the hardest thing first, the heavy stuff, and then taper down. Some people like to train fatigued. I don't really like that. I think that puts you at risk for these lifts that potentially could have high risk if you're not careful. It's a squat, bench press, anything like that. So one of the things I want to point out here, though, in my squat, though, is you can see the bar path is relatively straight, even if my body, you're moving your bar essentially around your body, and you're trying to manipulate your body in a way to keep you as linear a path as possible. So that's something that I've worked on and I've noticed in videos. It's always been pretty consistent, so it doesn't really bother me. But this is what I was talking about when it came to picking up the volume and other lifts. With the belt squat, you can really focus on that squat movement. You can remove the barbell on top of your back that puts stress on the spine, and you can really just not isolate the lower body, but really just emphasize it, where you can focus on moving the weight rather than maintaining balance with a barbell. It just takes your focus away from specifically those muscle groups. It's kind of like the benefit of isolation. You're kind of locking yourself into like a set range of motion. and then you're focusing on that contraction. You don't really have to worry about the rest of your body out of position as long as you're in that groove, in those support holds. Really go that way. But the belt squat's cool though, because you're kind of, you could freestyle this. You could let go of it and just work on your balance and stuff like that. But if you simply put your arm, on the frame, now you've got a structure that you can focus on to really just get overload, which is really cool. So I thought that was super beneficial, and until recently I didn't really understand how to get the tension I wanted out of it. I just felt like I was just doing reps on reps, which didn't carry over. I like challenge, I like resistance, I like being able to add weight. If there's an exercise or something that I can't add weight progressively, take further, I really don't want to do it. That's why some machines at the gym you can like max out. I try to find the ones that are heavier just for there's more growth potential and time you can put into it. I tend to adapt to things pretty quickly, which the flip side of that is sometimes I will take time away from something and I will literally adapt to not doing it, and it'll be like I've never done it, and then I'll come back and just have incredible soreness, and then I'll have to reintroduce that movement to be able to adjust to it again. So it's interesting. I just how my body's always been. That's why I have to have these higher frequency workouts. Otherwise, my body literally adapts to not doing whatever I was doing. So when we come back to upper body, that will be super interesting, because I feel like the soreness on maybe just like I'm going to come back probably with like a 155 bench, just like a red. And I just know the soreness is going to be insane just from not working that range of motion. And then that will be something to get used to. I'm expecting a lot of cramping. I'm expecting just a lot of getting used to all that stuff again. So we're going to have to go slow. The benefit to that will be there'll be a lot of progress to be made with those lighter weights. And then as we get back into the groove of things, probably cut back on volume a little bit, not do as much. I can't wait to not be able to have to squat 3 times a week. Break it up. I will just go back to my 2 times a week and then pick the exercises I like the best and just kind of go from there. So that's my game plan. And we just have to take it in strides as it comes through. So we're getting closer. And those will be more interesting videos. I'm ultimately just anticipating, waiting for the clearance. Started doing some real light bicep curls, like an extended negative, with just 2.5 pound plates, which maybe I'll show in a video. Just in between sets of legs. Just, to throw it in there every now and then and maybe add, maybe not weight, but just get that range of motion back. Forearm is still a little bit numb, which I'm not really enjoying. So I would like to get that confidence back to be able to do all that. It's just going to take time. And that's really all I've got right now. So keep watching, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.